everyone. I can see that the audience is mostly made up of students. So I'd like to ask you a question. Do you remember your last year's examinations? I believe some of you may be able to do so and some may not be able to do so. But definitely you will remember the fear that comes just before entering the examination hall. Trembling hands, silent prayers, discussions among your classmates, the last minute mugging up, a plus b the whole square, a plus b the whole square. So this is what you will remember. But the examinations as such, we don't remember. So why is it that we remember the fear more than the examination? It is because education today has become less of information and more of an emotion. It is about competition. It is about trying to please your parents, your teachers, and trying to get high marks so that you may land high-paying jobs. There is nothing wrong in it. But that, I don't think, is the true objective of education. The true objective of education is the creation of a well-informed individual who can contribute to the society and himself. So, there has to be a radical change in our education system. There has to be a change in the pedagogy, peer-to-peer learning, and counseling and mental health have to be an integral part of our education. What is pedagogy? In ancient India, we had the Gurukulam system in which a student used to go to the Guru and learn from him hands-on. Later on, we have developed this classroom system where the teacher comes to you and teaches you. Then peer-to-peer learning, the senior students like yourselves teach your lower students. This increases the camaraderie between the students and also improves your knowledge. And finally, in today's world, where there is cutthroat competition and a rat race, depression is happening more and more. More and more children are being felt left out. So counseling and mental health have to be an integral part of our society. So something has gone wrong. So what is the mistake? The mistake, I believe, is that we have mistook marks for intelligence. We have equated marks with intelligence. Marks is equal to intelligence. Let me tell you a small story from the Panchatantra. There were 3 scholars who went to learn basic human sciences in a distant land. One person learned how to attach the bones of a dead animal. The second person, he learned how to attach skin and flesh to the bones. And the third person, he learned how to instill life into the carcass. After finishing their education, they were going back home to carry their luggages. They had a servant with them. And on their way, they had to pass a forest. And in the forest, they found the carcass of a lion. So they said to themselves, now let us test our education. The first person, he sat down, he attached all the bones together. The second person, he attached skin and flesh. And the third person said, now I'm going to instill life. I'm going to play God. I'm going to instill life into this lion. So the uneducated person, the servant, told, sir, please wait. And he climbed up the nearest tree. So the last person, he gave the lion life, and you know what happened? The lion killed all the 3 scholars. So what is the moral of this story? The moral is that education without common sense is absolutely of no use. So you should know where to use your education, when to use your education, and how to use your education. See, last year, I had the good fortune of visiting the Humboldt University in Berlin, Germany. And the guide told me this is a very special university. And you know why it is special? Why? It has contributed 57 Nobel laureates to this world. 57, not 1 or 2. 57. I also had the good fortune of visiting the City Hall in Stockholm, Sweden, where the Nobel Prizes are given away. I stood in the very hall where greats like Albert Einstein, Max Planck, Madame Curie, and our own Dr. C.V. Raman stood and received the award. Now, this, I believe, is one of the most memorable days in my life because I was standing in the very place where greats like these people stood before me. And they're not ordinary people. They are the people who changed the face of science. And why were they able to change the face of science? It is because they were inquisitive and they had that innovation spirit in them. They asked questions. When the apple fell on Newton's head, he did not simply say, well, everything falls down, so the apple fell down. No, he thought about it, he researched on it, and he gave us the theory of gravity, the force that attracts the various bodies in this universe. Then he went on and gave us the 3 laws of motion. Then he went to another field, optics, and he told us white light is made up of 7 colors. Then he went to another field, a totally different field, mathematics, and he gave us the branch of mathematics known as calculus. All this he was able to do when he was just 26 years old. So I think he's one of the greatest scientists ever this world has seen. Then comes along another person, Albert Einstein. He tells us how gravity actually works. He tells us that this universe is made up of space-time fabric. It is made up of string theories, M theories, and the force of attraction is nothing but the indentation of the various planets and sun on this fabric. He gives us a theory of relativity. And he goes on and tells us that energy and matter can be interchanged. And he gives us that famous formula, E is equal to mc square. So why is it that these people thought in this manner? They were encouraged by the universities and schools to think. It is not just a question of memorizing, repeating, and reproducing what you learn on a piece of paper. You have to think about what is being taught. That is very important. My son, when he was a very small child, asked me a question. Father, why do we have 2 eyes? Very simple question, right? At the same time, it's a very difficult question. Why do we have 2 eyes? Isn't 1 eye sufficient? Why do we have 2 eyes? It is not the 2 eyes that are important. Distance between 2 eyes, 1.5 centimeter. This is what creates a 3-dimensional vision. The vision that you see in 1 eye is different from the image that you have in the other eye. Both of them go to the brain and they are perceived as a 3-dimensional image. So if I tell him in this manner, he may not understand. So I introduced him to the world of anaglyph 3D. Anaglyph 3D means you cover your eye, 1 eye with a red filter, the other eye with a blue filter. Then you watch encoded pictures and videos with red and blue. It's available on the net, Anaglyph 3D. You can easily make a spectacle with blue tint and red tint and watch this video. There you are, you can see a 3D movie. So he understands that concept better. So our education also should be in this manner, in which we promote applicational level of theory rather than the theory itself. So our examinations also have to change, right? Supposing a question comes in electromagnetism. Provide the student with some copper wire, a nail, and a magnet. Tell him to make an electromagnet. You're learning botany, you're learning grafting, then whatever that budding. Ask the student to do some grafting. Have any of you done grafting? I don't believe so. When you are learning about botany, go out into the fields, identify the herbs on the basis of the genus and species. So this has to be how you go forward. Our education has to go forward on an application basis. Let me give you 2 examples. A student who gains 100% marks in physics, and you have another student who is a mediocre student who just passes. At the same time, this mediocre student on a stream near his house, he creates a small hydroelectric power plant with a turbine and a small dynamo. And he is able to power at least 1 bulb in his house. So who do you think is better? The first person or the second person? The second person is definitely better. So we want such kind of people. So therefore, our perception of success has to change. So how do you define success? A successful person is one who is competent in his work, who contributes to the society both financially and morally, and one who has a good civic sense. That is very, very important. You go to Cochin, You go to our cities. Cochin is a rich city. It's not a poor city. But there is filth on the road. It is dirty. Rubbish lying everywhere. And why is it? It is not that Cochin doesn't have money. You go to other places like Maldives, Mali, or Colombo in Sri Lanka. Financially, these countries are below India, but still the cities are clean, exceptionally clean. It is because this culture of civic sense has been inculcated in the syllabus down below from the primary classes itself. And so also traffic rules. They also have to be taught from the primary section. Now when you ride on the highways, it is like riding a F1 race. Who is faster, you or me? All racing against each other, trying to outgo the other person. But that is not how it should be. So there should be civic sense education and traffic rule education from the junior level itself. So this is what I have to say about education. But then the question is, where to from here? What is the future of education? You see, today, information is all around you. It is not centralized in one place, like a library or a college. No. All around me, there are electromagnetic waves which are carrying information. If I have a mobile phone, a laptop, I can access information anywhere. So my house is a classroom. A park is a classroom. So we had a glimpse of this during the pandemic corona, where teaching was done on an online basis. So I believe in the near future, or maybe in the distant future, traditional systems like classrooms, blackboards will come to an end. Teaching will be sitting where you are. You can learn where you are. And another genie has come out of the bottle, which will not go back into the bottle, but it's there to stay. What is it? Artificial intelligence. It is taking over many of our jobs. People are afraid of it, but there is no need to be afraid of it, because the word intelligence is a misnomer. I would call it artificial cleverness, not artificial intelligence, because it only works on the vast amount of information that is present in the net. And this information we have provided. So the human being will always be one step over AI. The only thing that we have to be careful of is we should not become slaves to AI. We should use AI as our tool, as our slave. That is what is important. So the next step in education would be teaching our children the nuances and the technology to control AI. That is very, very important. So AI is not our enemy, it is our friend. It's our tool, because only then we can progress in this world. So there is one more point I would like to stress on, and that is righteousness and integrity. Righteousness and integrity. I'll tell you a small story. There were two great architects, a father and son team. They were commissioned to build a palace for a rich king. And they had the foundation stones coming from a place called Makrana in Rajasthan, which was around 2 weeks distance from this building site. So the foundation was being laid, and finally 4 stones were short. Like they needed 4 more stones to complete the foundation. And the son tells his father, "Father, it's only a matter of 4 stones. We can take some ordinary stone and we can fill this thing and we can complete the building. Otherwise, we have 2 weeks will be wasted, we will lose money." So the father tells his son, no, we'll wait for the 2 stones or 4 stones, whatever. The son tells him, no one will know, right? It's under the foundation. Who will know? So the father tells his son, "Son, you are right. No one will know. But there will always be 2 people who will know that cheating has occurred. One will be you and one will be me. And we will be guilty of it till the day we die." So that is integrity. Whatever you do in your life, do it to your best. Have you ever seen an uncut diamond? It is not beautiful. It is so crude. Then the polisher takes it, he polishes it, he cuts it, he chisels it, bevels it, and finally out comes a brilliantly shining diamond. So this diamond will attract people to it. So all the students in classrooms are uncut diamonds. It is the duty of the teacher to understand their potential, polish them, make them shine brilliantly so that they can attract others. So what is success? You see, the greatest message ever given is in the Bhagavad Gita. What is it? Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. What does it mean? Karmam, that means your duty. Adhikara means right. So you have every right on your duty. Karmanyeva adhikaraste phaleshu kadachana. That means you have no right over your result. Your only duty is to do your duty perfectly well. The result will take care of itself. If you are that brilliant diamond, people will come to see you. You don't have to go and see them. So this is what I would like to talk to you. With this, I would like to end my talk. I would like to take this opportunity to thank TEDxAhalia Public School for having given me this wonderful platform to talk to you. I wish you all a very good day. Thank you. Thank you very much.